Hello, this is Miss Harris here to talk to you about rounding whole numbers. The steps that we use. First, you're going to find the target, and the target is whatever place the question tells you to round to, find the digit that's in that place, and that digit is what we call the target, and you're going to underline that digit. Step 2, you're going to circle the digit to the right of the target or the digit that's sitting behind the target. Step 3, if the digit you circled is 5 or more, raise the target's score by 1. Not the digit that you circled. You're not raising the digit you circled. You're raising the digit that you underlined. If the digit you circled is 4 or less, let the target rest. And step 4, everything behind the target changes to 0. Everything in front stays the same. And when your target digit is a 9 and you have to raise the score, we know that 9 plus 1 equals 10. We're going to treat it just like an addition problem. If I'm working an addition problem, say I have 76 plus 14. I know that 6 plus 4 is 10. I don't say 10 and 8. That's incorrect. What we know to do is to write our 0 and carry the 1 to the next place. So 8 and 9. Well, that's the same thing we do when we're rounding and your target has to go up 1. You're going to write your 0 and carry the 1 to the next place. Let's do some examples. Round to the nearest tens. Your question tells you what digit to pick as your target. So I need to find the digit that's in the tens place. The 8 is in the ones, 7 is in the tens, and I underline it. Step 2, circle the digit that's on the right of the target. If this digit that I circled is 5 or more, my target, I'm going to raise the score by 1. If the digit I circled is 4 or less, my target is going to rest. I have an 8, so that means my 7 needs to be raised. And I'm going to add 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Everything behind the target turns to 0. And I have nothing in front. So my answer is 80. Remember to press pause and try it yourself, and press play to check your work. Round to the nearest thousands. So my question tells me to look for the digit that's in the thousands place. Sometimes big numbers get confusing, so start with what you know. I know that at the back I always start with ones. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. My 6 is in the thousands place. Step 2, circle the digit behind the target. If the number I circle is 5 or more, my target will raise the score. If the number I circled is 4 or less, my target will rest. I have a 3, so that means my target should rest. It stays the same. Everything behind the target needs to turn to 0. I have 3 digits that are behind my target, so I need 3 zeros. And everything in front of the target stays the same. Do not leave off the digits that are in front. They do not disappear. Remember to find where I need to put my comma, start at the back, and count 3 digits. 1, 2, 3, comma, every 3 digits. So 56,000 is my answer. Round to the nearest 100,000s. The question tells me what digit to go find. 100,000. Start with what I know. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Now I circle the digit that is to the right of my target. If the digit I circled is 5 or more, I raise the target's score. If the digit I circled is 4 or less, my target rests. I have a 5, so my target, which is the digit we underline, it needs to raise by 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Everything behind the target changes to 0. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits behind, so I need 5 zeros. I do not have anything in front, so my 5 is what all I have to do. Start from the back, 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 more digits, but if there's not another digit in front of that set of 3, I do not need another comma. So my answer is 500,000. Next, round to the nearest 10,000s. My question tells me what digit to go find. Start with what you know. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So I stop here. 10,000s. This 6 is my target. Find the digit to the right. I have a 9. If the digit I circled is 5 or more, my target raise the score. If the digit you circle is 4 or less, my target takes a risk. I have a 9, so my target will raise the score by 1. So 1 plus 6 is 7. Everything behind the target or my underlying digit turns to 0. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers behind, so I need 4 zeros. Everything in front of the target stays the same. I only have 1 digit that's in front of my target, so I bring it down. Count 1, 2, 3, comma, 670,000. Round to the nearest tens. Okay, for this one, I find the digit that's in the tens place. So ones, tens. Circle the digit that's to the right of your target. If the digit I circled is 5 or more, my target raises the score. If the digit I circle is 4 or less, my target takes a risk. I have a 6, so that means my 9 that I underlined for the target needs to go up 1. So I put a 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Remember, I do not write 10. That is incorrect. Treat it like an addition problem. I write 0 and I carry my 1 to the next place. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Now, everything behind the target changes to 0. I had 1 digit behind my target. The 9 was my target. So I put the 0 for that 6. Now, even though this 4 was in front of my target, it had to change because I carried my 1. So go past the 5 now. What's left is 6 and 7. So I allow 6 and 7 to stay the same. So 1, 2, 3, comma, 67 and 500. I hope that, let's try one more like this one. Let's say I have, one second. Let's say I have 7, 9, 3. And they want me to round to the tens place. So I find the digit that's in the tens place. I have a 9. Let's change this to 5. I have a 9 in the tens place. I find the digit that's to the right. I have a 5. 5 or more, my target raise the score. 4 or less, my target takes a risk. So I have a 5, so my target needs to raise the score by 1. I'm raising the score by 1. So 1 plus 9, we know is 10. So I write my 0, carry the 1 to the next place. So 1 plus 7 is 8. Everything behind the target changes to 0. Let's look at another one. This time I'm going to round to the hundreds place. the hundreds place. So I find the digits that's in the hundreds. I have a 9. I look to the right, circle the digit that's on the right of my target. I have a 6. 5 or more, my target raises the score. 4 or less, my target takes a risk. So I have a 9 and a 6. 6 means this 9 needs to raise by 1. So 1 plus 9 is 0. I carry my 1. There's nothing here, so remember we treat empty space like a 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1, and everything behind the target changes to 0. So this would be 1,000. Look at another one. I use the same digits, but this time I put a 2 in a thousands place. I'm still rounding to hundreds, so I underline the 9 because it's in the hundreds place. Then I circle the digit that's on the right. I have a 6, so that means my 9 needs to raise the score by 1. So 1 plus 9 is 10. I put the 0, carry my 1 to the next place. This time I have a digit there, so I add what was already there. 1 plus 2, 3. And everything behind the target changes to 0, so 3,000. One more. Okay, this time I want to round to the thousands place, So I need to find the digit that's in the thousands place. Start with what I know. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, circle the digit that's to the right. If the digit I circled is 5 or more, I raise the score of my target. If the digit I circled is 4 or less, I give my target a rest. So I have a 7, so that means my 9, which is my target, needs to raise the score by 1. So 1 plus 9 is 10. Remember, just like addition, I write the 0, carry my 1 to the next place. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Everything behind the target changes to 0. So I have 3 digits that were behind. 1, 2, 3. And everything in front stays the same. Since I had to carry a 1 and change my 4, do not change that 5 to a 0. I look at the next digit. I had a 1. So I bring down that 1. Do not change that 5 back to a 4. I'm sorry. Count the digits from behind. Every 3 gets a comma. So that answer would be 150,000. I hope this video was helpful. Use it as much as you need to get practice. Remember to practice in your study packet. Thanks for watching.